Hello and welcome to part 1 of Superman the Ride. My name is Real Chill Dill. I enjoy making Planet Coaster content. This is my first ever voiced over video and first ever speed build video, and I figured why not do it when I'm starting a brand new park, because I just wrapped up Glacier Point, which I should be uploading a bunch of the POVs because there's over 15 coasters in that park, so if you want to go check those out, they should be up on the channel. But yeah, so this is Superman the Ride. I wanted to make a coaster because I just got out of a screening of it and I absolutely love the movie, and so I'm like, alright, I want to transfer this into the games I play because I love Planet Coaster, and I'm assuming a lot of other people are going to see Superman and enjoy it, so I figured I'd make a ride where trying to fit the theme of flying, but I chose the Vector launched because it's probably my favorite coaster type in the entire game, just because it looks so aesthetically pleasing. And you can see here, so for the launch I was aiming for about 75. I believe the highest speed it gets is about 65 miles per hour, but I wanted to go straight into I believe it's called the Stengel Dive. I am not ultra educated on coasters themselves, so don't take this as a realistic building tutorial. This is just me kind of putzing around building what I think is going to be a very nice coaster. But you can see here I'm kind of struggling to build this beginning part because I overbanked it in that one spot, and I'm trying to keep the heart line at least somewhat present, but you can see here I'm kind of going in and fixing it now. But yeah, so my goal for this coaster was just to build a fast-paced, kind of short and sweet, nice little, like, get some nice ejector airtime pops, get some inversions, make it feel, like a realistic coaster that you'd ride at like a Six Flags or like a Cedar Fair park. But I want to have the theming be a little more elaborate, but those will come in later episodes. This was just building the coaster itself. So you can see there I've got the smoothing down, and now I'm checking all like the vertical G-forces, trying to make sure, and I do that throughout, but I cut most of that just because I want to make sure that none of the forces hit too high, because you want it to be a comfortable ride and you don't want people like passing out, because Planet Coaster is a little bit lenient when it comes to G-forces, because I remember I had a coaster where it was like, I think it hit like 7 Gs and it was still labeled fine, and I'm like, oh, that's not great. But you can see here I'm building a stall, because that's always one of my favorite elements in any coaster, just because it's the hang time and everything just feels so cool. And so you'll see for the stall itself, when I go through and smooth it here in a second, I put trims on the flat parts to keep the flatness so the stall still remains there after smoothing, because I like doing the forward backward method that you had to have mods to make it realistic in the first Planet Coaster, because it was just such a hassle to do the 4-meter method, because that's one thing about Planet Coaster 2 where coaster building feels great. I really enjoyed it. It's so fun. I've built an insane amount of coasters that I just haven't even like tried theming, but you can see there I put the trims on to keep the flatness while kind of smoothing over the other main parts. But I have it going from the stall right into a big airtime pop, and then you can see when I go through the smooth sections, I'll build a bunch of flat parts out just to kind of keep the momentum. But right here I'm going into building some quick S-turns, because S-turns for Superman. But in actuality I'm trying to figure out the elements that I want to keep, because I don't really go into these builds with a plan. I kind of just let the coaster create itself, basically. But I know the elements that I enjoy on roller coasters, and so I try to incorporate those in the ones that I like. Like, I love stalls, so I'm always bound to put a stall in the coaster, just because it's one of my favorite elements you can do, along with like the Stengel Dive. I'm sorry again if that's not right. I'm not the best. I'm a coaster enthusiast, but I'm not completely up to date on a lot of the terms and stuff like that. I just really enjoy roller coasters and the ideas of like how creative you can be with them. So here you can see we're going into an inversion, and I kind of double invert here because I like doing the rolls and then having it kind of continuously sway back and forth, keep the momentum, not really kind of make it a jagged motion. And I was considering doing a hardline roll there, but the speed was a little too fast and the forces weren't great. I cut a lot of that, but you can see here I'm going through and smoothing that big section because I was like, alright, I want to see what the forces are looking like. I want to see what kind of speed I have going into this. And again, it's kind of just whatever I feel like making, I'll add, because you get nice airtime pops, you get some good like force G's, you get some good inversions here, and I'm kind of losing speed at this point. And normally I would add another launch and make the coaster far longer than it really should be, but in the mindset of trying to keep this at least semi-realistic in like the best way I can, because again, I am not a professional, so keeping it kind of realistic is the goal. And I figure a coaster with 2 launches and only 2 trains isn't realistic for like throughput and like keeping the line moving and not having it take like 6 hours from start to finish, especially because I feel like this will be one of the main draws of the park, but also it's the first coaster in the park, so I do not know. You can see here I'm trying to add a dive loop, but the coaster just did not have the speed for what I wanted, and so I end up scrapping this. But I may go back later and try to make the ending a little more interesting. It's the one part of the coaster that I'm not the biggest fan of, because you can see it didn't even make the loop there. So I just kind of add some little whippy turns going into the final brake run there. Because the speed of the coaster, it makes it tough to really add any major elements, but this is basically what the final layout kind of looks like. You get some good airtime pops, you get some nice inversions. I believe there's only 3, but it's basically like a little short, sweet launch. Get some good G's, good forces. And you can see here I'm looking at like the testing numbers, but this is pretty much it for the ride. I'll go in and change the colors after I ended this recording, but yeah, so there's your stats, and yeah, I'll go in and add the coaster supports here. These are temporary. I'm probably going to end up custom supporting the entire thing eventually. I just wanted, for the POV, I wanted it to not be floating because it just looks a little odd. But yeah, and then I'm like checking the stall, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, here you can see I'm adding the custom supports and making it so there's a little bit of realism for the point of view, and I'm kind of trying to make sure that none of them are clipping too close to the track. And yeah, so this is pretty much it for the ride. I go in and change the colors, I go in and fix a bunch of little smoothing stuff, because I was constantly doing the point of view because I want to make sure smoothing is one of my most important things. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the ride itself. So I'll leave you to the B-roll and the final point of view. Thanks for watching.